We were introduced actually by a chap at the time who was working for me, and you'd done some work with or for him.
Yeah.
And he introduced us. And
I was cover, I think.
Yes.
He was penned in to do a wedding for you, and he couldn't do it for whatever reason, so he recommended me.
Yes, and then we met, although I thought it was in a hotel somewhere, like for a coffee. So Matt seems to think he came to the house, but I thought we met in a hotel lobby for a coffee, but you seem to think something else.
No, definitely didn't.
But actually, Matt went and filmed a wedding for me and was thorough and, dare I say it, did a really good job. Well, he must have done, because he came back and shot more weddings for me. And at the time, when we were shooting weddings, I mean, they still mean a great deal to people. But at the time, it was sort of everything. Like, the quality of their wedding films was everything that the business was trying to achieve. So there was quite a high standard to set. And Matt smashed it. So he came back, and he came back, and he came back, and we got him filming as many weddings as we could. We often did 2 cameras together, didn't we? Which were long days and hard days under stress.
Good fun.
Yeah, but definitely good fun. We worked out that we worked really well together, I'd say.
I remember this one wedding, and it was a 2-camera shoot, and it was really, really long day. And I think we'd started at like 8 or 9 in the morning and did the ceremony, and we were absolutely exhausted, weren't we? And got fed, and then
always
back
exhausted.
in those days we'd stay till like 11 o'clock and film the whole dance floor and everything that was going on, which was really good. I thought Dan must have gone home about 9 o'clock because I just couldn't find him. I didn't know where he was. And then eventually I tracked him down to the smokers' corner, and he was kind of pretty much making friends with all the guests at the wedding while I was still grafting.
I don't remember that, and I mean, that could be true.
I said it was a singular story, but it was quite frequent.
It sounds like it could be true. Obviously, it's really difficult to remember. I mean, I must have believed in whatever you said to me, because you went and shot a wedding, and as I said, the stakes were high. So I must have thought that you were up to the job and capable.
I think when you're filming with someone for 12, 14, 15 hours in a day, or even working away, you have to get on with that person. Otherwise, you just can't do the job. So I think that probably, and we were, similar kind of age. And
yeah, a lot of energy.
Yeah, had a lot of fun. Got on well, so carried on from there.
Yeah. I describe him as my work wife, but it's probably the other way around.
Nice bit of role play.
Too far. Probably about 15 years ago, we stopped doing weddings and swapped over into doing corporate and commercial filming, and it just was a natural transition. We probably started to think about studios then as well, and whatever, got premises, and it was just a natural fit to get Matt into the setup. I remember having a conversation with my other half and saying, whenever we get busy, Matt's on another job and whatever. I remember actually having the discussion and saying, I think we have to make, or ask Matt if he wants to come full time, because availability is a problem, and we can't get that consistency all the time. He's available when we're not available when he is, and vice versa. And so we decided that Matt was our very first full-time employee. We haven't looked back from there.
I remember the first corporate shoot we did was up in Richmond. We hired like a really big swanky house to film.
It was like a warehouse, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was really good fun. And I think we stayed up there for 2 or 3 nights, and I didn't have a great idea of what was going on because you were directing it, so it was all in your head. But I camera opted it, and it was really good fun. And I remember having the social scene in the evening.
Yeah, with the client.
Really nice relationship with the client during the day and the evening. It was really good fun, and it was very different from the kind of work I'd been used to. So it was nice to kind of be in a controlled studio environment, which was a nice change for me, which is probably why I liked the transition over to corporate work a little bit more.
Well, yeah, and then we sort of had a few beers in the evenings and stuff. That's back when we had the energy to kind of, get out and about. Probably introduced you to the Spaniel around then.
The Spaniel's a nightmare. When Daniel's had a couple of drinks, he doesn't have an off switch.
Yeah, that's true. Did we ever think? I don't think I ever looked that far forward, really. I don't think we ever just dreamed that we'd be, or thought we'd still be working together in 15 years later.
No.
20 years later.
No, I don't think so. I think, not that I had that kind of vision, but I know that having kind of worked around the world with different kind of companies and doing a lot of tour work, I was quite interested in kind of taking a seat back from that and working a bit more locally. So I think from that point of view, the fact that there was a production company that we were growing, you know, relatively local to me, and in sectors that I quite enjoyed working in, it was like a no-brainer really to transition over to that.
From our perspective, as I say, we had a need. We were growing. We needed availability. We needed reliability and some consistency. And Matt brought that along with relative professionalism, relative.
I think that's what you've always tried to teach me, how to be professional.
Well, it's an ongoing thing.
So we've done some management training together.
I know. I was there.
And that revealed a couple of things.
Was it helpful?
It was very helpful, yeah. I think it was interesting to see how other companies, you know, manage people. And obviously we've managed crews.
And themselves.
Obviously we've managed crews and talent and clients all our lives, but never really had any training for it. So just having a little bit more process around how to deal with people maybe was quite enlightening, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fantastic to see you in a classroom as well. I was really enjoyed. I got a little glimpse about how Matt would have been at school, and yeah, he's keen to please teacher. Definitely.
I think the best thing about that course was you deciding the route on the tubes that made us 10 minutes late.
Oh,
and I'm all right with being a little bit late, but Dan was in pieces.
I don't do late.
Absolute pieces.
No. Well, to be fair, the Ubers weren't where they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
One of the discoveries on the management training was that they did a test to work out which brain is dominant, or which half of your brain is dominant within a business setting. And the test revealed that Matt is pretty much entirely left-brained, and I'm pretty much entirely right-brained. And everybody in the room was pretty much left-brained because they're there for management training. And the guy was like, "Oh, we don't normally get right-brained people in here." And I was just like, "Okay." Right-brained people were sort of not very organised, a bit more creative, a little bit more sort of easily distracted, a bit more sort of visual,
flamboyant,
friendly. Not friendly, but anyway, it just became very apparent that day that for years we've been functioning with a left and a right brain as effectively one competent individual.
Yeah.
Matt is very, very keen to make sure everything's where it's supposed to be, and I don't necessarily or can't really focus on that sort of level of detail, whilst Matt is very, very diligent on that. But I'm much more likely to read, you know, how a client's feeling or how talent's feeling or whatever, and sort of deal with people and emotions as opposed to
which I think is why it works so well, because the day's structured nicely and everything's ticked off, and then kind of you are looking after people and making sure everyone's all right and coming up with some ideas and
solutions,
resolving things.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think both's needed really, and yeah, that's sort of where it is a bit of a.
And that's where our
I don't think we ever had any kind of analysis about why that worked that way, but it just always has. We did start talking at weddings, like with our mouth shut like that, just so that people couldn't read our lips.
Almost like a ventriloquist.
Like a ventriloquist, so that people. And we got really good at speaking like that, so that people couldn't tell what we were saying. And then that sort of evolved on the set to just looks and grunts, eye movements.
Well, quite often if you're recording audio, it needs to be subtle.
Yeah.
But I feel like as it evolved over time, it was a really good professional tool. As the shoot kind of goes on, descends into.
What does that one mean?
What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's quite complex actually, because that is Matt saying, "I wouldn't do it like that," and it's interesting that you are doing it like that. I'm letting you know that I wouldn't do it like that.
Subtly, so nobody else knows.
Very subtly, so nobody else knows, exactly. And it is literally...
Followed up by about 10 minutes later of oh, when it then kind of transpires that we have to do it my way.
Absolutely.
Most of the sign language is used in the run up to midday, when Dan kind of starts to come on set and loiter around and make some subtle gestures to his tummy, and then I know exactly what's happening because he wants dinner or lunch.
I would say that after working for 20 years, one becomes a bit institutionalised and one's system becomes a bit institutionalised. So when we're not shooting, I have lunch at 12 o'clock. And so then when we are shooting, my body is ready for lunch at 12 o'clock.
So then I swiftly make sure that the schedule stops at 1 o'clock.
Do clients ever notice our NVC, non-verbal communication? Well,
I think our more familiar clients that have worked with us for a long time pick up on when one of us is holding back from a reaction.
Yeah, definitely.
To the other person probably being slightly more correct or
absolutely
having a point, even if they've, even if Dan's being thanked by someone, sometimes they can look at me and
Matt doesn't really like it when I get any kind of praise
and
whatsoever.
Acknowledged good idea
in the background. If someone says that's a good job, Dan, is like that.
But even then, people we've worked with for a day kind of laugh at our banter and kind of pick up on that.
So we were in Paris and we were shooting a conference for a client who's still a client, actually.
Big conference.
This was 2010, so it was the Icelandic ash cloud.
Yep.
And we'd driven down there, we packed up our car, we packed it to the brim. I remember.
Didn't have a van in those days.
We didn't have a van, we had a car, and it was to within an inch of its life. It was
packed. Absolutely full.
Packed solid, and we drove down there, got the ferry over or the Eurostar, drove to the hotel, set up for the conference, filmed the conference, and then this ash cloud hit while we were out there, and everybody was sort of like watching their phones and looking at the internet, and like the conference was all kind of a bit sketchy because people's travel plans have been really disrupted, haven't they?
Yeah.
Like we were in a mild state of panic about getting back for the ferry, so that we could get home because it was so busy. Anyway, we packed up the car, we drove all the way to Calais, and I remember in Paris packing up the car. I remember saying to Matt, "We've packed this so much better on the way home.
We were
really pleased, like really Jenga'd it, like absolutely all the way.
We just couldn't get over how we'd done it so well." And we went in, because we had so much space, we went into duty free. And we're buying all of this booze, and we're walking out of duty free with this trolley.
Oh, she's sorry, yeah.
And you got a phone call from Eric, the client.
Yeah.
And he said, "Dan, have you forgotten something?" And I'm like loading this car up with all this beer. And Dan's like, no. And I'm doing all the alcohol. And I have a flight case with all of your cameras in it.
Like literally,
and we were just
everything, the most expensive stuff that we had owned, he said, we just left it in the middle of the room. So we packed everything else. Yeah. Everything else, but all of the kit.
And where they were sat was now like a lot of beer and wine.
Yeah. But bless him. I mean, he brought that back for us, didn't he? I remember.
Did he fly over? Or?
No. So I think he either flew or drove over the next time he came to the UK, and he said, here's your cameras and stuff. And when I got it home and opened it, there was a bottle of champagne.
Was there?
In there? Yeah, in the kit. Yeah. There was another Paris incident as well, where we were boozing and out with the clients. Like back, it was good form to be drinking in the evening. So we'd shoot all day. We're shooting the conference, and then in the evening we'd join the clients for some drinks. And then we were editing in the evenings as well, and then editing the next morning before the conference started again.
And you had to do a wash-up video, didn't we?
Yeah, we had to do like a quick edit, a turnaround edit, wash-up video for showing at the end of the conference. And so pressure was on. And Matt was sat at the back with an iMac and his headphones on and he's editing. And you had a little moment, didn't you?
Well, you kind of disrupted my flow for something. I can't remember quite what it was. But you interrupted me from this edit, basically.
I pulled him out of the edit. And back into the room.
Yeah, you asked me a question about the live switch or something, and then I think because of that disruption, it broke my concentration, which then took me back to my hangover, and then I had to slope off a little bit just to make myself feel better.
I mean, I would like to say that we are so different from that company. Like we were.
Yeah, I think we're more methodical with loading and taking kit now.
It's not even worth
No.
the discussion, the comparison. Yeah. We were two guys that were effectively winging a lot of it back then, and these days, like thanks to you, we have process and checklists and that wasn't necessarily a thing back then, was it?
No, no, we kind of just winged it a little bit more and took what we need, took all of our gear, and just how we got on.
Unrecognisable from the company we were. The hangover situation.
It's probably got worse.
We had a shoot once, and that guy had a motorbike crash. Oh no, his motorbike broke down. He had a crash or something.
Yeah.
And the client's on set, and we've hired a location.
Yeah.
We've got a food stylist. We've got everything
busy
there.
Schedule.
A really busy schedule, but you know he's only coming from sort of South London, but he's completely stuck because he's got a puncture on his motorbike.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so he couldn't dump the motorbike. Long story short, I stepped in as hands and stepped in as because I was there anyway, and so I stepped in and did all of the food steps and whatever, and we made the film, but just without the faces, and unfortunately we couldn't sort of get shots of his face because we were different races, and it definitely would have seen, but we just did a video without faces for that particular one, and got the shoot, and then he arrived at lunchtime and we carried on shooting as if he wasn't there. And it's just solutions, you know. The alternative to that is then rehiring a location, rehiring the food stylist, and everything has a price attached. It can be slightly frustrating that Matt is never wrong. I mean, I don't need to explain that. I have worked with him for 20 years and learnt to relent and let him think he's right even if he's not, and I never point it out when he is wrong, do I?
No.
Yeah. So that could be slightly frustrating.
I don't remember the last time I was wrong, so I can't even answer that question honestly.
Me either. Never happens.
I've learned.
Who's got the biggest ego?
Well, I don't think either of us do. I think what's happened is I've learned that during idea creation, I just keep quiet now. I think that's the easiest way to do it.
Because you just get...
Yeah, I'll go make a cup of coffee when there's idea creation going on. And then when I get on set, I'll see there's like strands of my idea weaved in there.
Such lies.
Oh, it's familiar. His open-toed sandals.
They aren't even a thing. Like you made a complaint.
Like something out of Lord of the Rings.
You made a complaint, and have they been on set since?
They did walk in on their own the other day.
It's absolute. He complained. I listened. It's no longer even a thing. I mean, if it was up to me, I would be wearing them. Not today. It's cold, but if it was up to me, I'd be wearing them in the summer. But I don't wear them to work anymore because you called me a hobbit. It's nice, isn't it?
You've called me a hobbit in the past.
That's because of height, not because of your feet.
There's a creative brief open to interpretation. It might be a bit, see what we can get. And it's just not, maybe things get missed a little bit. So I think...
I think if we've planned it properly, and actually, you know, people know their job, or respondents know their job and know what they're expected to do. There's an element of just letting it roll, and letting it free flow a little bit, as long as you've got time to do that and you've allowed for it, I think. But yeah, I am quite haphazard. But you know, I know this, and I've put stuff in place to counteract that. My haphazardness, I've got.
I think the only issue sometimes is it deviates away from the purpose of the video. Sometimes you want to film other stuff. Maybe then the hero of the video.
Much.
Yeah,
It's true, I do.
yeah, he does a bit, but not all the time. I think if there's a creative brief open to interpretation, it might be a bit, see what we can get, and it's just not. Maybe things get missed a little bit.
I am quite haphazard, but you know, I know this, and I've put stuff in place to counteract that. My haphazardness, I've got.
I think the only issue sometimes is it deviates away from the purpose of the video. Sometimes you want to film other stuff, maybe, than the hero of the video.
There are lots of little things, little quirkisms that have developed over the years. Like, I don't think Matt has ever walked past the toilet while I'm in it and not turned the light off. Ever.
I remember once I bought a load of stick-on scrapes and put that on Dan's car. That was quite good fun, watching him worry about his car getting all scratched up in the car park and then realising it was just a sticker.
One thing that is quite unique about Matt and I is that back in the olden days, when we started going off and filming conferences and filming different places, you know, budgets were a bit tighter and whatever, so we'd save money by like ordering booking a twin room and sort of sharing a room, like digs kind of vibe. And then what actually transpired over the years is that even when there's been like rooms available, we still prefer to share. It's very odd. We went up to Scotland and shot this thing, and they hired this amazing stately home that was just incredible.
It's a bit like the Traitors.
In the daylight, it was incredible. But when we arrived there at night, we'd driven down this huge lane and gone this
private land,
and it was in the middle of nowhere. It was misty and like Scottish and really sort of spooky. It was quite spooky, wasn't it? And we opened the doors to this, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" There was like 12 of us in this 20-person stately home, and there was room to spare. Like, we could have had 2 rooms each, and we still shared. I'm like, "There's no way I'm sleeping in a room on my own."
I was going to say, you're scared of ghosts.
Yeah, so we just literally.
Yeah.
I'm not scared of ghosts. But it was quite spooky and quite eerie, and so for the entire time that we were there, we shared a room anyway, because we just.
And you still moan about my snoring.
Probably going back to
Create Health, when we worked on, we had to
a pharmaceutical shoot, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had to film in a front room environment where there was a story time going on with a mum and a daughter, mum and a son, and they read the story, and at one point they opened it up, and the special effects of a lighting change happened, which half of it was in real life and half of it was done graphically, and the child on the day was a bit younger than we thought they were going to be, so they were harder to direct, and then that's where that kind of relationship of being able to channel everything through you worked really well, didn't it? Because that child didn't get confused. And
well, it did. It meant that I was able to sort of say to him, you know, the only voice you listen to on the set is obviously Mummy's and mine, and they're the only people that are going to be giving you instructions. And then off the back of that, we sort of made friends, and I was able to revert to my sort of playful inner child a little bit, so that he trusted me, and we made friends. And it just meant we got results on a really packed schedule.
And photography.
Yeah, we had photography and video to do, and we had a very, very packed day with quite a younger, a more difficult. I mean, he was a lovely kid.
Well, we briefed the whole crew, made sure everyone knew the way that we wanted to deal with it.
Yeah. So everything to do with lights, everything to do with cameras, camera movement, everything was yours, wasn't it? And all I did was focus on him and getting a result from him, because he was the star. What is Matt's biggest strength that I couldn't do without? I mean, these days I'm not massively involved in production as much, and so I'm more about getting a job off the ground and getting a project, bringing a project to life, and then I hand it over to Matt and Fran and the team, and they effectively realise that job. And so as a result of that, I have to trust Matt's method of process, and have to trust that he's organised and methodical, and he's doing all of his due diligence. I mean, luckily, I know Matt likes to be prepared in a shoot, and I know that he doesn't like going in feeling unprepared, and so it's in his interest to do his due diligence and do the work that he needs to do. And so I know 100% that work has been done, and he's not going into that shoot unprepared. And we couldn't do without that as a business, because that's not in me. I'm a bit more chaotic than that. What's Dan's biggest strength?
I think Dan's biggest strength is really the kind of due diligence he puts into pre-production and idea creation to get a project off the ground. So I think a lot of our production is already kind of finalised by the time we turn the camera on, so we know exactly what we're filming. And I think we've learnt that from idea creation to when I take over and do the pre-production. And I think what Dan's very good at is managing the expectations of the client early on and being quite honest and upfront if something isn't possible or doesn't work. And that is probably one of the biggest learning curves we've had.
Yeah.
And that's what you implement quite early on, is that first kind of development and creation of what we're going to film.
That's only really through lessons learnt, though, isn't it?
Exactly, but that's what I mean. It's a massive skill that you can control a creative and a brief so that it's not going to fail on set, because the worst thing that could happen is if you get onto set and whatever you're meant to be filming is not what the client or whoever's commissioned the video wants.
Do I ever think Matt overplans? No. I don't think Matt ever overplans. I don't think there's such a thing as overplanning. Matt prepares and Fran prepares and the team prepare to the stage where when clients come onto the set and we shoot together, like literally it's a laugh. It's relaxed. We've been to a lot of projects, we've been to a lot of different sort of sets and stuff like that. And when the schedule is overloaded or the preparation hasn't been done or there's a few bits, loose ends or whatever, it means that it just turns physically into stress, and time is money, etc. And we don't operate like that. He follows that meticulously, and that allows for a stress-free environment.
Yeah.
It allows for space for creativity and a bit of thinking outside the box, because stuff happens on a set, and it just allows for a fun, relaxed day, and our clients feel that and feel off that, and they've fed back about that time and time again. The biggest thing is that our clients enjoy a shoot day with us, and that is all down to preparation.
We were on a shoot for a big barbecue, and
it
was almost like a
great shoot that was,
like an as live kind of shoot which we did. And Dan was kind of saying that I feel like we should get some movement shots of close-ups. And I was of the kind of standing of, we don't really have time, and also I don't think they're going to make the edit, because like filming close-up shots of raw food is never that good. And actually in the edit, a lot of the movement shots that Dan did of the close-ups, it pains me to say, were really good, and actually I think they really elevated the kind of final films. So that's quite a good example of when you stepped in and did something off your own back.
You're right.
Unauthorised.
You're okay.
And held us up.
It pains Matt to give me compliments. they're very, very few and far between.
No,
are you all right? I thought you wanted to get you a little bucket.
No, I thought you did a great job.
How's our relationship evolved? I think we've covered it really with trust. I think we just trust each other a lot more.
Yeah, I think we've learnt each other's strengths and weaknesses and kind of play off of those different aspects.
Well, and we communicate a lot better. Like back in the day, or back in the olden days, like, there wasn't even sort of management meetings or anything. It was just literally, this is the work, let's do the work. And now we are much more methodical, and we have meetings.
And honest as well, very honest about the work and projects and what we think will succeed and what won't. So I think that helps. Yeah,
but also like brutally honest with each other. And because we've been working together for so long, we can take it. Well, no, I think we're friends.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah. Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday. The problem is that Matt lives away. I mean, we have met. We do see each other socially occasionally, don't we?
Yeah.
And our families get on, and the kids.
Yeah, been on holidays, and back in the early days, we used to play squash when our bodies weren't, you know.
It is difficult. Matt's at a life stage now where he's got sort of his kids need him a lot, and that's. And I'm coming out of that life stage a little bit now, where I've got a bit more free time in evenings and weekends and stuff. So I think we'll probably start seeing each other a bit more again. We used to bike ride together, didn't we?
Yeah, used to mountain bike, squash, snowboarding.
Yeah. So no, definitely friends, 100%. It wouldn't work if we weren't friends.
No, I admire Dan's ability to always see the best in people, and he tries to.
This sounds utterly written.
He tries to resolve problems.
You have to write this down.
He no, seriously, he tries to resolve problems, and he always tries to find the best in people. No, I think Dan's good qualities are that over the years he kind of looks for solutions, not blame. He doesn't blame people, which always helps. He's very personable, like the whole right side of the brain thing. So he's helped me when I've had kids, helped develop skills, upskills people. I think just an all-round nice guy.
No, joking aside, I'm impressed at the way he works hard for the business. I'm really impressed at his work ethic and his family ethic. I think he's an excellent role model for a dad, and dare I say it, I'd imagine a decent husband as well, although I'm sorry, Lucy, for siding with him on that. I know me and you have a kindred spirit in having to live with and deal with Matt on a daily basis. No, he puts a lot of effort in with his kids, and he's always there, and he puts a lot of effort in with his family and his house. He wants a good life, and his dedication to that is really quite something.
Shall we turn the camera off for the next bit?
Fran's going to go and vomit in the kitchen. Do we celebrate our successes enough?
Yes, I think we do. I think when we've done well, we're quite happy to go out and celebrate with the team, and and I think we recognise when individual team members have done a good job.
I feel like historically, when we get busy, we get really busy, and then we'll sort of finish getting busy, and then we'll be like, "Phew, that was a busy period. We did really well there, didn't we?" But actually, the quality of our work has been through the roof. Our clients are over the moon with what we've done.
I think the way I'd like to see us develop is to keep upskilling the people that work for us, keep looking for new skills and talents, and kind of keep pushing the quality, keep working with the clients that we've got at the moment, because we love working for them, and maybe expand and try and find some new sectors to work in.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. We'll keep pushing quality, and keep trying to grow, and just believing in each other.
Did you want to end on that hug thing you were talking about?
No, I want some lunch now, thanks.
Oh, okay.
1:05. My stomach's rumbling.